Going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the apes won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. One day, very soon, gonna wake up on the moon. Brand new yacht and a McDonald's in my living room. Bright yellow Lamborghini, 50-meter swimming pool. Champagne every day, ape fan, what you do? Wanna hang, wanna chill? Oh, you got a mansion too? Oh, that's right, held on tight, jack titties every night. We was in way back when they tried to drop it down to 10. And just couldn't comprehend, apes were strong until the end. Now let's retell it, Citadel they be sweating. Had enough of these felons, but the apes we rebelling. Cause we never be selling till we send it to heaven. Now we be out here yelling, hey, screw you, Kenny. Bought my wife a minivan to share with the boyfriend, but I pull up in the Benz, plate saying olive crayons. Going on an airplane, don't think we'll be back again. Celebrating every day like it's your birthday. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the apes won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the apes won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. Today's expectation, probably more manipulation. FUD, a creation of a crooked operation. Bought more while it was low, got more dips than Trader Joe's. Oh, you thought that we'd let go? What the hell you take us for? Holla if you spend your last dollar on bananas while living in squalor. We don't claim to be scholars, we the smooth brain dummies, and we never stood taller. Yeah, we do this for love and we do this for honor. Apollo 11 ain't got nothing on us. We the planet of the apes and in MOAS we trust. MOASS, oh hell yes. Gonna send it into space, go fire up the jets. Done my DD, call me Elton John, Rocket Man. This is the way, gonna be gorillionaires. Ground control to Major Tom, we about to have liftoff. Call us Neil Armstrong, gonna keep holding on. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the apes won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. Screw Kenny, cause we're holding on for dear life, getting them tendies so soon. Don't be mistaken, the apes won't be shaking or breaking because we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon.
Moon gang. Oh brother, oh brother, oh brother, oh brother, oh brother. What is going on? Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. And happy October. We're getting into spooky season, folks. Love it. Big fan myself. Spooky season. We're in it. We're in it now. We are 100% in the fall, autumn mode, and we have some fun stuff to discuss, to go over. But hey, it seems like it's a great Friday. It's always a beautiful day to be an ape. And today is absolutely no different. AMC looking strong, currently up 4% in pre-market. We're pushing that $40 level. GME's up 1.6% in pre-market. We see the Russell 2000 swinging around. We see the SPY swinging around. Look at crypto. Crypto took a shot of steroids or something. Crypto is flexing right now, looking very strong. And we're going to be going over all of this, man. It's going to be a fun day. It's going to be absolutely a great Friday. Ah, man, what a day to be an ape. What a day to be an ape. So let's just hop right into it. But actually, before we do, just so you know, the song you listen to, it is by the Gorillionaires. It is called To the Moon. You can find them on YouTube and other music listening applications. And then the other one that we listen to by the Gorillionaires is Show Me the Money. And then that one is also on their YouTube. So I need to start linking their YouTube or something. But once again, the band is called the Gorillionaires. You can easily find it on YouTube. I got a couple questions about it yesterday. So let's Let's hop into it. Let's hop right into it. So let's start high level and kind of start coming down. Let's go most generic. 5 things to know before the stock market opens today, Friday, October 1st. Once again, welcome to spooky season. Dow set to bounce after closing out the worst month of the year. So yes, September was weak, and we already know that the second half of September is typically weak. But on top of this, we have the Evergrande situation, we have the infrastructure bill, we have the debt ceiling, and we also have the government shutting down. Some of those things are still in play. The Evergrande situation has kind of died out. No one's really talking about it anymore. The government is not shutting down. It's going to be on this list, but basically the Senate or all of Congress and now also the president have signed it in. So the government not shutting down. They did get funded up until December 31st. I believe the vote, it wasn't even that close. Like the vote easily went through, but we still have to worry. The infrastructure bill, that got delayed. I think that's even on this list. But then we also have to discuss the debt ceiling, which that has to be discussed and debated and resolved by December 18th, or we will have the first ever U.S. debt default. But just so you know, from a seasonal point, and I'll bring this up in a little bit, the first start of October, let's say the first trading week, is kind of choppy, but after we get through that, it's pretty much up and away until the end of the year from a seasonal perspective of what happens in the overall market, just so everyone knows. And just because it's seasonal, that doesn't mean that there aren't years that buck the trend, but just so you know, that's kind of like what we're dealing with. Inflation measure Fed uses to set policy expected to remain elevated. We know this. We've been talking about the FOMC, all of that stuff. We know that inflation right now kind of clicking in around 4%. And there's at first, they were saying they might start the asset tapering, the purchases of these bonds in November. There's now been some rumblings that they might push it off a little bit. None of this is confirmed. We'll find out basically in the next FOMC meeting. But when they do start the tapering, it's not going to be like an immediate thing. It's going to be gradual all the way until mid-2022. And I don't think they're even considering raising interest rates until the end of 2022. Biden signs temporary funding bill to prevent government shutdown. We know that he signed it late last night, right before the shutdown would have happened at midnight. Biden fails to break Dem deadlock. House infrastructure vote postponed. So this is like, out of all those like political things going on, the infrastructure bill is another one. Biden failed to break Democratic stalemate that threatens his domestic agenda. A group of progressive House members and 2 centrist Democrat senators will still miles apart on key issues late Thursday. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi originally scheduled the vote on a Senate passed bipartisan $1 trillion infrastructure bill for Thursday, as in yesterday, but postponed it because didn't have enough votes to pass. So that's what's going on there. Look for them to continue to debate and figure out what they want to do. And then Merck to see clearance for oral COVID treatment, shares surge. And then we saw actually because of this, some of their competitors such as Moderna and Novavax, I think all like kind of down, just like more competition in the arena. More specific, though, to that infrastructure bill, because this is something that definitely could have an impact on the Russell 2000, which is tracked by the ETF IWM. The reason we care about that is because AMC happens to be the biggest stock within the Russell 2000, and it has about 0.5% exposure. I know 0.5% might not sound like a lot, but when you're thinking about a basket of 2,000 stocks, based on weight, that's actually a considerable amount of weight. Biden fails to break the Democratic stalemate and key House infrastructure vote is postponed. President Joe Biden spent the day talking to key senators and Democratic leaders in Congress trying to break a stalemate that threatens his domestic agenda, but a group of progressive House members and 2 centrist Democrat senators were still miles apart on key issues late Thursday night. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi originally scheduled a vote on a bipartisan infrastructure bill Thursday, but postponed it because the bill does not have the votes to pass. So this is a developing situation. Like I said, keep on top of it, especially if you want to, like, this will have an impact on the Russell 2000. More specific now, let's talk about some AMC specific stuff. So the big movie this weekend is Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I myself am planning on seeing it this weekend. I'm very, very excited. And thus far, the reviews are interesting. They're definitely positive, but like the way they word it is a little bit strange. Venom, Let There Be Carnage is nonsensical B-movie storytelling that will somehow leave audiences wanting more. The Venom franchise has bad writing and the stories make no sense, but I can't stop watching. The sequel doubles down on the bizarreness that makes it the most unique Marvel franchise. Venom, Let There Be Carnage opens in theaters on Friday. So some people already started seeing it yesterday, just like late premieres, or I guess early morning premieres. So it's out, and thus far, I mean, maybe I'm being naively optimistic, but I have a feeling that this movie is actually going to like destroy some numbers. Right now, Shang-Chi, the most recent Marvel one, is the one that's kind of holding the crown of the year. I would not be surprised if Venom Let There Be Carnage kind of takes the crown, especially just because where we're at seasonally right now, there is naturally an uptick in movie going. And right now with this one coming out, I mean, Sony actually moved this earlier. At first, it was supposed to be mid-October, but then because of the success of Shang-Chi, they actually moved it up intentionally to October 1st. Yesterday, we were asking about it, and thousands of people, when I did a poll, said that they were going to see it specifically this weekend. And then, of course, there's other weekends like throughout the month of October that I think people will be watching it. But myself, I'm very excited for this movie. I found the first one to be oddly entertaining. I don't think that this one will be any different, and I'm very, very optimistic about it. And this kind of lays into previously a couple weeks ago, we were talking about some of the statistical patterns that we've been seeing in AMC, and what we did there was from the start of the calendar year until most recently, we were doing a test of what's the best time to buy early in the morning, what's the best one-day hold till the next trading day, and it actually happens to be Friday morning until the next trading morning, Monday morning. That hold, that one trading day hold, has actually been the best for AMC out of all the one-day trading holds. And my suspicion is because of the movies, of where people are like, okay, we know the movie's coming out, it kills it over the weekend, and then because of that, there's enthusiasm coming into the market Monday morning. That's my thesis on it. I mean, the thesis might be wrong or right, but the statistics behind it still show that the Friday to Monday hold is the best single day hold period on AMC. And I don't think that this upcoming right now, Friday morning to Monday morning, will be any different, because I think that this Venom movie will perform very, very well. All right. A while back, we're talking about Scarlett Johansson and the Disney issue with Black Widow and the theatrical versus the at-home release. And just so you know, they reached a settlement. At the terms of the settlement were not disclosed. Johansson had sought a $50 million payout from the studio. The numbers aren't up there, and like they're still playing nice with each other. They're like, hey, like we work great together. We look to like work together in the future. So I mean, it seems to me like it's a PR thing of like, of course, we're going to play nice with each other. There's no way that like they don't still have like kind of raw feelings. I would suspect. I'm assuming Disney's very angry at her, but this issue is now resolved and the settlement is not public. Just so everyone knows what's going on there. So if you've been checking out what's going on in crypto lately, absolutely incredible. So not that long ago, as in 2 days ago, crypto was at 41,000, or sorry, not crypto, Bitcoin was at 41,000. We're now trading above 47,000, which is a nice technical breakout. Ethereum bouncing off of 2,800 up to 3,200. Cardano coming from 205 to 222. We're seeing a lot of bouncing. And in a certain sense, it's almost as if the U.S. Fed Chairman Powell is undoing what China recently said. So the the Public Bank of China, the PBOC, for like the 18 millionth time stated that crypto transactions are illegal and they're not supportive of crypto. And every single time they do it, crypto comes falling down. Well, this time the Fed Chair Powell says he has no intention of banning crypto. When asked about earlier comments he made about CBDCs replacing private crypto, Powell said he'd misspoken. And if you come down right here, when asked by Bud directly whether or not he intended to ban or limit the use of cryptocurrencies, Powell's response was a resounding no. I have no intention to ban them. So right there, the fact that the U.S., I guess, people in power who have like really, truly the power to make very impactful decisions on this sector, they are breaking away from what the equivalent people over in China have been saying about it. So right there, this news, you can find this on CoinDesk, but this is very, very positive for crypto. And the way I view it is it's basically just undoing what China had recently said about it. But even there, that wasn't new news. And at that moment in time when it was happening, the day of, I was explaining to everyone, I think it was a week ago? I think it was almost perfectly a week ago when this started selling off. And I was like, obviously with China continually doing this, it's the same thing, just a slightly different timing of it sells off, people buy the dip, and then it ends up coming back to quote unquote normality. So all this crypto was just a nice dip buy, and I honestly don't think that it's over. I think it could take a bit more time, but I think Ethereum's still on its way back up to 4,000. I still think Bitcoin's up on its way to 50, 60,000. I'm looking for Cardano to actually push up to $3, and Hex currently in a little bit of a wedge, but I still want this at 48.50 cents. I mean, crypto to me, I don't actively trade it, but whenever I see dips like this, I bought it. And either yesterday or the day before, I announced that I bought way more Ethereum than I should have. And sometimes it's better to be lucky than skillful. And this is one of those instances where my luck purchase ended up netting quite a bit. But like I said, I haven't locked in any of it. I'm just buying on the dip, and it's a long-term hold for me. Very quickly, let's talk about the overall market. This is the S&P 500 tracked by the ETF SPY. This could be thought of a basket of 500 of the biggest companies within the US. Yesterday, we closed pretty much at this very incredibly important support level of 429. This morning, we're attempting to gap up a little bit to the tune of almost $2. We want this to happen. We want the bounce to happen. We want to see green in the SPY, the Qs, IWM. We want to see money flowing back into the market, because that does make the overall like headwind tailwind argument easier for AMC and GME. We don't want people to be panicking in the entire stock market, because people who maybe don't identify as apes and are just in AMC and GME for whatever other reason, we don't want them to panic on the situation. So right now we're seeing some green, but it's going to be completely changed when 9:30 actually goes ding, ding, ding. And we're going to have to see how people are actually handling the situation. But I have my fingers crossed at least for this bounce. And I want to actually see this gap fill up to 442. If we see some momentum early morning, maybe into midday over the next week or two, 100% looking at the potential of this gap fill up to 442. I think that'll be a very, very easy trade. But first, I want to see the buyers actually stepping in. In terms of the NASDAQ, this is more of tech heavy. The reason this has been getting hit is because treasury yields are going up, which is causing bonds to go down. And as those yields come up, it does make it a more enticing investment, a little bit safer. The risk to reward is a different ratio. And that kind of takes away some of the attractiveness of the high growth tech stocks. So whenever yields go up, bonds go down. Typically, your Qs, the NASDAQ 100, the tech heavy high growth sector is going to follow the traction of whatever the track the bonds are taking. Just so everyone knows, right here, it did break below 360. I want it to quickly recapture that. If not, there is a risk of 352. But I should note on the SPY, the Qs, and IWM, the RSI on all of them is pretty oversold. So just in terms of reversion play, I think the odds are looking better and better for at least some sort of relief bounce. I don't know how high the bounce will or won't go, but that's something to pay attention to. And in terms of the Russell 2000, we're halfway in between support and resistance. We have support at 218, resistance at 221. We're actually opening up, same as a SPY, like a little bit of a gap up. So let's see if this can hold. Would love for it to recapture 222 and some change, and then I'm watching the mid 224s. But overall, the name of the game on these major indexes is to see if buyers are going to actually step up and buy this dip, or what's going on. But things seasonally, if I had to guess, I know that the kind of not even the latter half, like the latter 80%, the latter 75% of October is typically bullish. But with this one, we have the unique scenario of what's going on with the debt ceiling. So seasonality, once we get through the first week of trading, October basically next week, from there, seasonally, I'm going to be bullish on the overall market. But please, we have to keep in mind of what's going on with the debt ceiling debacle. If they solve that very rapidly, look for the market to go green. But if it looks like we're getting closer and closer and we might actually have our first ever default, that's no bueno. No bueno, mi amigo. So just keep all that in mind as things continue to develop. In terms of the technicals for AMC, yesterday, if you were paying attention, we had a crazy day. The first half of the day really sucked, and then by the time we kind of got around lunchtime and then into the close, things were very, very exciting. We shot all the way up to this resistance at 4150. Now we have, before we were messing around at this level at the end of August, but now we have more recently a triple rejection. So in a little bit of a larger time frame, that's what I'm looking for, but I'm truly looking for this gap fill up to 4420. easy play, at least in my opinion. Let's see if I'm right or wrong. I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a financial advisor. But from what I know about trading, that's what I'm personally looking for. September 17th, September 20th, looking for this gap fill that was created right there. And just so you know, in terms of support, we have some at 37 and we have additional support at 34. In terms of GME, looking for it to get out of this wedge. I want it to get above this region of 188, 190, and then to battle it out at that key level of 200. GME, in terms of the technicals, it's become very easy at this point in time. Basically, is it above or below 200? 200 has been acting as a magnet. Unfortunately, for all of September, GME's been selling off. The entire month, GME's been going down. So I'm hoping that it's been beaten down enough that we're about to see this reversion and the fact that the bears are just running out of steam. So just so you know, support is at 170, and we also have some at 175. In terms of the Ortex numbers to kick off the month of October, they've already borrowed $707,000 against AMC, which puts the short interest at 20.72%. That's also within spitting distance of an all-time high for short interest on AMC. The utilization is 85.4%, and the shares on loan 114.6 million. In terms of GameStop, they've borrowed $51,000, short interest 15.55. It is noteworthy here on GME to point out how ever since July and really ever since mid-August, the short interest has been continuing up. And I do want to see how it reacts, like roughly to this level. I want to see if the bears are going to be so aggressive they push it above 16.5% short interest. That's one thing that I'll definitely be paying attention to on GME. All right. So that's pretty much what we have for the morning setup. We have about 10 minutes to go until the bell goes ding, 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 and the casino gets opened up for the first day of October and the last day of the week. So let's see how this is all going. Matt, did you tattoo your eyebrows? No, I didn't know you could tattoo eyebrows. If you want me to, I could look into it. Yo, good morning. Where's Swole Matt? Oh, the thumbnail from yesterday. Folks, like I said, what was it, 2 days ago? I downloaded Noom, which is like more of a psychology thing for dieting, nutrition, and just like overall health. And you see the effects. I mean, you guys all see that thumbnail. I mean, I've been on Noom now for 1 or 2 days, and bam, just like that. Already, a lot of people are saying The Rock now looks like me. It's crazy stuff out there. Hypothetically, with all the Robinhood legal mumbo jumbo, what happens to Robinhood users if Robinhood goes bankrupt or is forced to shut down? Morning Moon Gang. That would probably be a very, very messy, long, drawn out scenario because it comes back to their investors and the equity owners and who has what money and how flush they are in cash. I think the easiest thing to do is just to not use Robinhood. I truly, truly do. I don't think it's worthwhile to take on that risk. I mean, we know that there's brokerages such as Public that I've been talking about for a while right now. Here's Public. Like I just, or Fidelity or anything. Like there's so many brokerages out there that are better than Robinhood. There's really no reason to be on it. You could go to public.com/MattKohrs, up to $70 of free stock, no payment for order flow, no market makers, no dark pools. You're not lining the pockets of people like Ken Griffin or the guy from Virtu. To me, it's an easy decision. Like you could start the transfer today. You can open the account today. Even if you want to keep your current shares on Robinhood, but then start your share trading on Public. Just so you know, Public does not have options trading. It's about to roll out its crypto. I don't know if you're an options trader or not, but to me, between options such as Public and Fidelity, or if you're on E-Trade or TD and you want to route your orders to a lit exchange, all those, it's pretty easy once you start doing it, and it's all better than Robinhood. Take a look at Mara. It is a great way to play crypto without actually buying crypto. I'm currently at 17% short interest. So I don't dislike Mara and Riot, but I'm not the biggest fan because I'd rather play crypto directly. Here are my thoughts. If you have a Bitcoin mining company such as Riot or Mara, yes, they're going to go up like if you're betting on crypto, but don't forget you also have that secondary bet of the inter-business competition between those companies. So you're taking a dual bet. And if I don't the more things you're adding in, like the more variables to the overall equation, it can make it more difficult. So for me, if I'm like, well, hang on, I'm bullish on crypto, I'll play crypto directly because Riot and Mara, you might be right on the direction of crypto, but what if you're not right on like how the business competition between all those companies ends up playing out? Got timed out because I agreed with someone that I don't like the song. Seems odd. It's not political or religious. I can't not like the song. I surprisingly, Easy Merc, I'm not the one who did it. Are you sure you weren't like spamming something? Best pre-market volume we've had in a while. Yeah, so AMC yesterday finally broke 100 million, which we have not had in a hot minute. I'm 100% looking for another follow through. If we can have nice back-to-back 100 mil plus days, I'd love to see over 120 million, and I would love to see that breakout of 4150 today on AMC. That would be a great way to go into the weekend. What price might quick hit in the next few days? The True King 1-1. I'm not quite sure what stock you're talking about. Buying Robinhood puts on Robinhood app. Slap it in the face. Ken Griffin line. Robinhood robbed us. I'm not sure Noom would advise you to avoid eating that chip. LOL. Have a great day. Shout out Saucy Ramen. Let's go. Buying 80K in AMC stock at the opening bell. Apes, let's go. Dreaming Green Logistics. Shout out. Matt, what were the shares on loan lending up to the 72 run in June? It was around 140 million. I think it's 138 million. And then we know 2 days later, there was about a drop of 30 million. Different short interest, lower short interest, but more shares on loan. And that's why you need to talk about the shares on loan, the utilization, and the short interest. Having one of those data points alone doesn't tell you the full story. You need all three. And honestly, it's even better to know additionally the cost to borrow, the average age of the shares on loan, and the days to cover. But if you could only pick three, I would go with the short interest, the shares on loan, and the utilization. But really, the more data points, the better. I would argue vehemently within the stock market, having one data point generally doesn't even tell you like not even close to a useful point of the overall picture. You need to see how they all interplay. Between the zero and the squeeze, I'm not too concerned about the ticker price of AMC. Apes living rent-free in billionaires' heads for the win. Shout out to Basco Dave. Can you check FAMI and see if there's a gap fill on the downside? Thanks. So yesterday's low was 37 and the high was 36. So technically there is a gap in between yesterday's low and 2 days ago high, the 29th. So technically there would be that gap there. But remember, it doesn't have to be filled within a day. It could take a day, it could take a week, a month, or a year. Maybe it's never going to get filled. It's just more of, we know when we see a gap that there's a statistical advantage to playing the gap fill. But depending on what the asset is, the volatility, the seasonality of the market, that is what changes the timing of it. But yes, technically FAMI does have a gap to the high of September 29th, which at this point would be, 36.90, 36 cents. Almost 37 cents. Technically a very small gap there. But like I said, it doesn't have to be filled today, this week, this month. It could take time. It might fill out of the gate, bounce, and just kind of rip from there, something like that. Right now, it seems like it's down a little bit in pre-market. What do we have going on here? ATER is up 4% in pre-market, getting that perfect support bounce. We bounced on the 15th. We bounced on the 17th. Yesterday, I was saying, watch the low nines. I marked out 9.14. It bounced off of 9.11, off by 11 cents. This is why I think technicals are so beautiful, because they get you amazing entries like that. Imagine only having to risk, like less than a quarter, and now you're already up more than $2. This is why I like technical trading, because like you get easy layup plays like this one. Beautiful. What else do we have? BBIG, how's this one looking? BBIG also up in pre-market, up by 0.3%, trying to get this trend line breakout. Would love to see BBIG get above 772. Hang on, let me redo some of these. All right, perfect. SPY. Let's get going, folks. Let's get going. All right. So weird. I would assume these are misprints. I'm not sure. I'd have to go into the time and sales, but I'm assuming these weird little wicks we see are misprints. I'm trying to get off of Robinhood. What's the code for Public? It's in the description of the video, but it's also public.com/Matt Kohrs. Both Public and Voyager are apps you download. I think I forgot to speak about Voyager. Here's Voyager. Voyager is what I think is easy for crypto. I think Public is the easiest thing for stocks, and Voyager is the easiest thing for crypto. They're both apps that you download to your phone. You have to be in the US. I know I have some international listeners, viewers, so you're going to have to go with another option. Public, you download it to your phone. Voyager, you download it to your phone. Voyager, that goes above my head. And with Public, all you have to do is go to public.com/Matt Kohrs. Both of them, depending where you are or aren't. I mean, for me on both of them, I got up and running. Voyager, it took me about half an hour. Public, it took me about 1 day before I could do like everything I wanted to do. I know some people... It comes into the issue of like maybe what state you're in, how long's like the queue you're currently waiting in for the signups. So there's a little bit of variability there, just so everyone knows. But overall, I found the process to be very, very easy. And specifically to Public, even if it took a while, I would still do it. Like this is how I thought of it, just because not only did I get money for signing up, but on top of that, no payment for order flow, no market makers, no dark pool. Like this to me, as I'm sitting here actively saying, I think we should ban payment for order flow. Well, of course I need to be on a brokerage then that like is not using payment for order flow, at least not for stocks. It's kind of hard to avoid it with options, but just so everyone knows what's going on there, man, I like this. I like the energy. We're about 30 seconds out and we're already seeing a bit of volatility. Feels like it's going to be a fun day. Feels like it's going to be a very, very fun day. Oh, AMC, let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. Before the market opens, we got to set a hot chip price. For me, right now we're at $40. I'm going to set the hot chip price at 50. If we breach 50, we don't even have to close above 50, but if we breach it, if we see 50 or 50.01, that will signal the hot chip for today, October 1st. Ding, ding, ding. The casino is open. Best of luck to all. Let's go, Apes. Let's go, Apes. We're moving, and we're grooving. All right, let's see how this is going to get rocking on the day. We're moving. All right, so with AMC, just so you remember these levels, 41.50, so about $1 higher than we are. That's like a pretty major level, and I think above it, we're really looking at this gap fill to 44.20 in terms of GME. We're kind of watching, I guess, the region between 185, 190. Let's just call it 190 as like the major breakout level. Sweet, let's get going. Wait, 41. Did I do that math wrong on AMC? $2. Okay, 41.50. We were at 39.50. So $2 to go on AMC. Fully capable of doing that. I mean, we all saw what happened in the span of like an hour or two yesterday. Now that we have a full trading day, people are very, very enthusiastic about what's going on. Let's get rocking. Captain Mexico. Happy birthday, Matt. Happy birthday, Captain Mexico. If all 4 million apes put magnet signs on their vehicles that said Ken lied, he would sue all of us. What's going on, Paul? I know you're busy, man, but the side clips vids on SPRT, ATR are money, my man. Is it possible to get more of those in the future if the setups are there? Yes, Joe. For me, there's so much content I want to make out there. Like, of course, I'm covering AMC and GME, but like you said, those side ones of like the momentary stuff, ATR, SPRT, BBIG, ANY. I even want to do a lot of crypto ones. Like, I just have so many, I guess, ideas of what I want to do. And it's just more of, I don't know. You ever have those days where you just have so much to do, you just end up, you're like, I don't even know where to start. And then you end up getting like absolutely nothing done. And then between the streaming, it's a schedule thing. I don't know. I'm my own worst enemy in this scenario. Like, you know, the consequences of my own actions. I think if I have like more of a regimented schedule, I could push out more content. And I want to so bad. But Joe, I hear you. And I'm working on like the way I could best schedule all of this stuff. Prague is still looking tasty in my opinion. Check it out. All right, hang on one second. Let me get my handy dandy trading diary. All right, Prague. We're going to throw Prague on the list. Shout out Wall Street Viking. Prague. All right, where's all the green? Where's the exciting green moves? All right, AMC currently at 39.04 and GME is currently at 176. The SPY, it's at the 431 level, and the IWM is at 220. Hey, Matt, would you mind checking out the crypto called Theta? I could look into it. I don't know much about it, but I'll look into that one, Paul. Last night's thumbnail, 420 on a scale of 69. Man, the thumbnails are, some of these days, it's those thumbnails that keep me going. They crack me up. Keep an eye on TMC today. Hasn't TMC been performing pretty poorly? I'll put that on the list. But I feel like that one was getting pumped by a lot of people, and then it ended up burning a lot of people. Has trading been halted on AMC? Previously it has, but not today. All right, let's see how this is all opening. And then, in about 10 minutes when we see the opening, we'll start running through this list of the other stocks. All right, come on, AMC. Let's bend this back around. I like this $40 mark. Really like the 41.40. A break above, a close above, especially on volume of 41.40. So about $2.50 above where we're currently at. Like that's nice. That is a good day for AMC. Can I call you later, buddy? I may need reassurance. Yeah, Ken boy. Yeah, that's why I pay for that direct line to Citadel. Would love to chat. All right, come on, AMC. Let's bend this back around. Let's check the MACD. MACD on the 1 minute, and it's just 1 minute. So remember, whenever you're doing technicals, you have to kind of apply it to the time frame that you're on. Like the MACD on the 1 minute is not really going to have much of an influence on like a daily trend, obviously. But as we come out of the gate, I see a bid coming in on IWM right now. We're looking for this MACD to cross on AMC, and it'd be nice to also see it cross on GME as well. Throw up the MACD right there. Let's check the flow. All right, just so you know, AMC still that 707, short interest is 20.7%, and the same number for GME. But let's check what the flow is early morning. Let's see how people are betting. 53.3% bullish on AMC in the options market. And in terms of GME, 56% bullish. So both AMC and GME in the world of options, we're getting some bullish action. Crypto still holding pretty strong. Let's do this thing. I'm ready for Friday. All right, AMC 39.20, GME 177. I want to see the Russell 2000 push to 220. The S&P 500 a little bit weak. I'm actually kind of surprised about the weakness we're currently seeing. Hang on, let me see if there's any news we need to be going over. Some Octubre. All right, where are we at here? No, that's not going to impact us. Who do we need? Walter Bloomberg. OPEC. So we have some gas stuff. So that would be important to all my CEI fans. Pool of negative. All right, that doesn't matter. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh tested positive for COVID, has no symptoms, has been vaccinated. Bitcoin extends gains to 10%. India to impose mandatory 10-day quarantine isolation for UK nationals. Lordstown Motors Corp shares up 6.3% after to sell its Ohio assembly plant to Foxconn. Once again, that's Lordstown Motors. RIDE is the ticker symbol. Fed comfortable with Fed plans of imminent bond buying taper. Makes sense in the not too distant future to taper bond buying. Doesn't see need for Fed rate increase until 2024. Believes current inflation surge will ebb over time. That's what they've all been saying. It's transitory, it's transitory, it's transitory. That's all we're hearing. That's all we're hearing about it. SEC reportedly looking into Robinhood's president's sale of AMC stock. Well, good. Jim Cramer launches the CNBC Investing Club, which is a focus on building long-term wealth. And then Unusual Whales responded right away. We like coin, as in Coinbase, the ticker symbol COIN at 475. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. What else? What else? What else? All right. AMC 39, just kind of messing around. At this point, you're looking for the breakout of 39.40. The SPY systematically selling. Just pure selling early this morning. I've noticed recently, over the past 3 weeks, I've kind of noticed on the SPY and IWM that the early morning move isn't necessarily the one that ends up being the dominant move of the day. I don't have the exact numbers and stats on it. I guess it's more of anecdotal, so maybe I'm completely off basis. I feel like sometimes your brain wants to see what it wants to see. But it definitely, over the past 3 weeks, it seems like whatever the early morning pushes seems to be kind of like undone, and sometimes to like a notable magnitude by the actual end of the day. But once again, with the SPY, we're watching 429, a little bit below 429, and we're at 429.70 right now. So you're looking for the support that's $1 below it. If it breaks below it, we might be seeing all the way down to 425. So this is what I'm watching. I'm going to be watching this level. If it starts to bounce, I might play it long. If it breaks down, I might play it short to 425 or something along those lines. But that's what I'll actively be watching. All right, I need to make more room on these charts. All right, we're seeing selling in everything right now, unfortunately. Between AMC, GME, IWM, SPY, we're seeing some red. So let's see where the buyer's at. What levels are the buyers at? How do you feel about NFTs? I'm recently getting into them. I do own some. I think I own like 9 or 10 of them on OpenSea. But I've been slowly but surely learning more about it. And I'm actually planning on taking quite a few hours this weekend and like specifically studying NFTs. And if I like can put together some sort of cohesive, I guess, video or piece of content, like more of like a beginner's guide type of a thing, I'll like happily film that and just post it to one of the 2 channels. But how do I feel about NFTs? Just in general, from the little bit I know now, it seems like some of them are a complete and utter scam, while others are actually very, very interesting, and I'm highly supportive of the project. So I don't know if I'd make commentary in general of like the entire space of NFTs, because I think some are awesome and I love the utility, and then I think some are like a cash grab of like being run by absolute scam artists. Bay ticket, bring a friend for free, tweet Adam Aaron. Yes, so with the Venom movie, if you are a stockholder, you are able to bring a friend free to the movies. Hang on, someone said Adam Aaron just tweeted about it. This was kind of news that was being discussed yesterday. A lot of happy birthday wishes. What else do we have? The highly anticipated Venom movie arrives at AMC theaters starting tomorrow, and an exclusive offer. Our shareholders who are AMC Invest Connect members can share the fun free all weekend long. Buy a ticket, bring a friend for free. That's awesome. So if you're trying to, see the movie with a friend, a buddy, a significant other, maybe you're trying to talk them into getting some AMC, maybe a useful tactic we have. Sweet. All right. I'm trying to, like, you know me. I try to wait those first 15 minutes. Oh, so some people had already seen it. Venom was so good. If you have already seen Venom, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on it, on if it was good or not. I mean, I'm going to see it regardless. My bar for entertainment is pretty low, so I'm feeling good about it. But the initial things I'm hearing is that people liked it. They thought it was just funny, nonsensical, a good way to relax, rewind, unwind, relax, unwind, rewind. All right. AMC currently at 38.35. The SPY and the Russell both being sold thus far this morning, but we are not even we're 13 minutes into the day. I like to wait those first 15 for exactly moments like this. Now, that particular rule, there are going to be many people who are like, no, why would you do that? For me, it's just proven to be a net profitable wait period. I find that there's like just so much whipsawing that goes on in the first 15 minutes. Does it inherently mean that sometimes you're going to miss good opportunities? Well, yeah, of course. Sometimes the opening price is like either the lowest or the highest of the day, and if you're waiting those first 15, you might miss a really great move. But I have found, for myself at least what the stocks that I seem to be interested in, my own, thought process on the market, I found that given enough trades, it's net beneficial for me personally to wait those first 15, 20, 30 minutes before I really do anything. I'm okay with locking in a trade, like right at market open, but to create a trade, I like to wait. I find that it's beneficial to wait. Man, IWM and SPY, what's going on here? Are people like oddly rebalancing for October? SEC reportedly looking into Robinhood's president sale of AMC stock. Interesting. Let me retweet that. What is this article? SEC reportedly looking into Robinhood president's sale of AMC stock. Late last night, in a lengthy post summarizing the recent fabrication spewed forth by the Citadel Robinhood complex, we asked a simple question. Did the president of Robinhood dump all of his AMC stock right before they restricted trading? I like how it's still, I forgot about this. Like I somehow already put it out of my memory. I forgot that Charles Gasparino said that he was the one breaking the news. He doesn't break anything. He literally just looks at people who are like half his age and see what they're saying on Twitter. And then he takes it and says that he's like breaking that news. People will discuss things for days, if not weeks, before he hops onto it. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, this is breaking news. I have a source. And his source is people that he hates on Twitter. It's fascinating. He has such a interesting definition of journalistic integrity. All right. Interesting. Robinhood is in deep shit. I think Citadel's in deep shit too, but to me, everything of the way this is, playing out, it does seem as like almost as if Robinhood is in deeper trouble right now. All right, let's get going. Where are these buyers at? We've seen pure selling in everything thus far this morning. We're 15 minutes into the day. Who's going to turn on the buying faucet? Let's get going. All right, let's start looking for this MACD cross. Where are the buyers? The SPY is getting very, very close to that support. What was it specifically? I guess 228.90. So we're about 20 cents away on the SPY, 228.90. We're now exactly 20 cents away. Right there is roughly the key support I'm watching on the SPY. Let's get this bounce going. Where are these hungry dip buyers? All right, what else do we have? Matt, good morning. Can you do an Ortex on Prague and check the chart, the next level of resistance? Yes. Prague's having a great day, up 43%. Wow. Prague is just ripping right now. So if I wouldn't chase Prague right now, but if you already had a position from yesterday, I would be watching 234 and really 270. And then from there, you could watch 290. I don't know. Right now, my scope would be between 234, 270. That's what I would actively be watching on Prague. In terms of the Ortex numbers on Prague, just be careful with it because there's obviously 2 gaps below it, but they might get filled after some incredible push. I don't know. I have no Prague position. Prague utilization 98%, short interest 56%, and the shares on loan after today probably 200 and I don't know, or sorry, 14 million most likely after today as of now. That's high. It has the numbers. It has the numbers it needs to like do something crazy. Someone else asked me about TMC. I was never really a fan of this one. I mean, people were trying to get all excited about it. I mean, I saw videos, I saw people talking about it, and I don't know. I gave as many warnings as I possibly could have. It's now looking like maybe some sort of relief bounce, but to see if buyers are really stepping in, I would want to see it close above 563, ideally on some nice volume. It's at 512 right now. But literally yesterday, it made an all-time low. So it's obviously, the earlier you buy it, the better your risk reward ratio. But then you're also in the realm of, okay, are you trying to catch a falling knife? Which is why I would be watching the 560 level on it. But be careful. It looks like it gapped up, so it might want to fill the gap. Yesterday's high was 461 and the low today was 478. So there is a gap right here, which would be a little bit concerning to me on TMC. But like I said, it could fill this like way in the future. It might try to break and run and push. And to any of the bag holders in it, I hope it does come back up to at least give you the opportunity to get out without much pain. If AMC closes above 30, I'm getting drunk tonight. Shout out Karthik. Ooh, our 8-month anniversary. I know you're a busy man, but could you help me move my house, please? It's an Airbnb, but the TV is cumbersome. What's going on, Burns? Hey, brother, I made top 15 in the dad bod comp. Now working on the top 10. That 25K is getting closer. Shout out, David. Morning, sir. How's your ETH YOLO play doing? So far, amazingly well. Like way better than I ever thought it would. I feel fortunate to catch the tailwinds of Powell's, like, I guess, not support, but the fact that he said he's not going to crush crypto. Stop being a Greg. We all know you sold. I am very much long on AMC and GME. VV app, it's NFTs. Could it be a scam? Never heard of VV, Jacob. I'd have to look into it. Algo currently in governance. You'd like it. If you're talking about the crypto, I actually own some Algo. Recently bought CEI and FAME. What are your thoughts on these both? Also, I got into spread betting 250 margin on AMC to hit 50.1 per point. So I've myself never gotten into spread betting. But for CEI and FAMI, it depends when you got into it of like how much I'm going to like it or not. CEI, this now looks heavy. This is, for me, would be not the opportunity. If I was running CEI up and I saw this daily pattern, I would have been like, okay, we went below 340. I'll lock in my monstrous gains. I'll wait for this to cool off. And depending on when I see like this scenario where it's a little bit red, but then we see strength, I would look for the next period of strength and then just base it off with the most recent relative low is. That'd be my risk point, and I would try to ride it back up. But right now, this is definitely weakness in it. I mean, look at this run. You have 2 red days. If this goes, whatever this level is, 289, 290, be careful because this could prompt a pretty quick flush to, I don't know, roughly $1.70. And look at the RSI blown out. Don't be greedy. Do not be greedy on this play. I mean, over the past week, it's up 65%. Over the past month, it's up 414%. A sell-off, like you're going to have people who are just swinging it, making some money. And as soon as they say weakness, they'll be like, okay, time to lock it in. So don't let greed, destroy your gains on that particular play. All right. Is SPY going to hold here? Look at this. Off by how much? What was the low here? 92. Off by 3 cents. Let's see if this bounce actually holds. That would be a crazy call if the SPY actually bounces right here. Let's see if it does. Remind people not to spoil it. Spoil what? Matt, look at VV app, OMI Crypto. They have a license with Marvel, MGM, DC. They are awesome NFT company. So I haven't heard of them yet. I'll happily look into VV. What do you think about EVGO? I've been a big fan. It's on the threshold list. Could you check Ortex and chart, please? Do you see any promise too low volume? So we know EVGO. Yeah, so remember with these FTD short squeeze plays, one of the important characteristics, not only being on the threshold list, I know it has a high short interest, I know it has all those other metrics, but it doesn't have the price action right now. In fact, the price action is exactly what you don't want to see. It's just down, down, down. It's different if the buyers step in. If this gets above 930, if this gets above 980 and starts bending back up, that's a completely different story. But right now, like, that's why I have those lists of prerequisites, and that's why I look for them to all be checked off. And I would argue that the price action in the momentum is one of the more important ones. And right now, like as of now, we don't see it, but who knows? By the end of today, this thing might actually get moving. So this is just something I would be like, okay, I'm going to pay attention to it, but I wouldn't throw money at it until I actually see like demand being found somewhere. Much love from NZ. How do you allocate your portfolio at 45% long stocks, 30% ETFs, 15% small cap and risky stocks, and 10% crypto? I actually don't know the breakdowns because I have a different portfolio for all of them. Like it's not all in one. So I have like a crypto portfolio, which is slowly but surely becoming pretty hefty. I have a long-term portfolio, which I would say it's probably 50-50 between ETFs and long-term blue chip stocks that I like. And then in my active portfolio that I talk about here, that's sometimes where I do like more of like, I guess, my hardcore high risk, high reward bets, such as AMC and GME. And actually right now, my public portfolio that I actively discuss here, I believe it's actually 100% currently AMC and GME. Matt, good morning. Can you do Ortex check on Prague and see the chart? Next level of resistance. All right. Prague. Okay, so we actually did go over that. Yeah, 56% short interest. GH message retracted. I like the mystery. Thanks, Matt. Dip buyers are now forever hungry dippos. By the way, where's my cattle list? Start Art Smart. Shout out. Use it wisely, man. Shout out Jacko. What's your take on CEI today? Looking weak. I mean, it had such an incredible run that it's now just taking a breather. The question is, where is it going to go to? I would be actively watching the support of 290. Remind everyone to bring a friend this weekend to Venom 2. Friend is free if you have an AMC shareholder before 9/21 as per item. Off to paint. Good luck. Shout out Tommy's Touch. I hear it's your birthday too. Happy birthday. Allow me to buy you a drink from across the continent in BC, Canada. It's mine too. The Big 40, hurtling towards silverback status faster than I'd like. Cheers. Shout out Thomas. Happy birthday, man. What are your thoughts on Forex? Forex, I haven't traded Forex. I've done some weird binary options on the Forex market, but I've never really just straight up like traded or invested into Forex itself. It's another viable thing. I guess I was very early in my career turned off of it just because there are a lot of scams. There's like a lot of courses like, I'll teach you Forex. You're going to be a multimillionaire by next week. So I was just like, something about the industry turned me off when I realized that there were like so many like social media scams related to it. So I just never really got into it. I know people who trade it and make a lot of money. I know people who've traded it and lost a lot of money, but that's true with stocks, options, crypto. It's true with everything. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm a little bit biased because very early on, I just saw how many scams happened in the industry. Matt, if I keep buying the dip, I will not have enough chips. I mean, I would argue that when I'm eating chip and dips, the dip is the main part that I like. Just sent you an XRP article exploring NFT uses. Oh, Ripple getting into the NFT game. Interesting. we've been talking a little bit about how it seems like the lawsuit is kind of going in their favor. Those are at least the rumblings. Matt, what are your thoughts on AMC right now? What do you think it means for that the utilization is going down? So right now, AMC, like I said, I'm watching that 41.50 level and then the gap fill to 44.20. And I know there's support at 37. So that's the technical setup. In terms of utilization, I think people are like misunderstanding what utilization is. Utilization is the amount of shares on loan divided by the total loanable shares. So your shares on loan and your short interest can go up with your utilization going down. That is possible. It's a mathematical sleight of hand. And what it means is that the total loanable shares, like that pool of people that people are willing to lend out, is increasing by a greater rate than the amount of shares on loan. Or of course, it could also drop by the fact that the shares on loan are going down. But recently, we've been seeing the shares on loan go up, which just tells me that more and more people are willing to lend out their shares of AMC. Thoughts on IRNT? Looking very, very weak right now. Ever since this breakout at 23.30, it was a pretty easy short to 16.75, and now that it broke below that, it's actually at support right now, 14. But if it doesn't hold that, I'd be watching 12.20. But this was the ejectocito point, was right here on the 29th when it didn't hold this resistance support. It broke the support right here. 23.30 was the point to pull the ripcord of being long or to actively go short. And it didn't take long for it to hit the first goal. And now it's awkwardly in between. I would see that this resistance from late August, early September, that could act as support. And maybe you're going to go back to 16.75. But right now it's looking neutral in this zone, but overall, obviously, ever since mid-September, the bears are in control of the party. Kohrs, K-O-S. It's moving nicely. You might be getting a cup kind of a handle. It's at resistance. I would like to see this push, I guess, basically 320, and it might keep going. Feels a little bit chasey because not long ago it was at $1.80, and very recently it was at $2.20. But I do like the cup and handle setup, and if you wanted, you could keep your risk at $2.80, which is not a bad deal. This is another oil and gas play, which we know that sector has been kind of nuts lately. Bleeze Bros sucks. Matt Kohrs is a shill. Who am I a shill for? Like, I don't even think people know what a shill is. I just, like, what I'm a shill for, I guess, myself. Like, a shill is when you're doing and saying stuff that benefits, like, someone else. Like, what am I, like, I don't know. I shill for the good hair industry. I think everyone should have some good hair. I don't know. I don't get it. I know you're busy, but could you help me wash my cat? The sedatives I gave him are BS, and he's still super scratchy about getting in the bath. What do you think about Mara 17% short interest? I'm bullish, looking at 70, 80 by March. So that one, I honestly, with the short interest, I like that. But really, you don't even have to dive into like the technicals of it. You have to almost more so dive into the technicals of crypto, specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you think Bitcoin and Ethereum will continue to push higher, which I do, Mara and Riot, I would argue, are good bets, but I prefer personally, and I don't think everyone should be doing this, but personally, I like playing Bitcoin and Ethereum like straight up. Hex catching a very nice bid. The amount of money I've made on Hex is so crazy. It's just one of those things that, like, it played out so perfectly. You just look back and you kick yourself. You're like, why did I not bet more? Which is an awful mindset to have, because that's how, like, the next time you bet too much and you end up getting burned. It's totally a psychology play, but that's where I'm at with Hex. I'm the big magnet show. Like, I don't know. At a certain point, I think through social media, and people have the sea anemone of like hiding behind it. like, I almost really do want to talk to one of these like keyboard warriors or one of these Gregs one day. Like, are they just jealous? Do they just wish that they could do like what I'm doing? Is it just like, to me, that's all that makes sense is unbridled jealousy. They're like people think that it's, I guess, easy to like dedicate a decade of your life learning about the market, then figuring out social media and presenting all your information. There are many, many things I've been fortunate to learn about this from this journey over the past 6 months and really over the past 2 years. But one of those main things I have, these very, very well-known streamers such as Dr. Disrespect, Shroud, Ninja, Tim the Tatman, Nick Merckx, and all of those, Dr. Lupo, all of those guys, I always thought what they did was cool. And I was like, oh, I guess that's like kind of hard, but maybe I didn't have enough respect for it. Now that I'm like a little bit in that world, my respect for all of those guys is currently through the roof. The duration, the longevity, the stuff that they have to deal with day in and day out. Like, I always thought what they did was cool, and I thought they were skillful, and people, especially like, I don't know, like Tim the Tatman and Dr. Disrespect, they're notable entertainers. I was like, okay, you have a cool skill set. I see that talent. It's awesome. But now that I'm a little bit in that world, my respect for them has gone up tenfold, 100-fold. Like, it truly is impressive. All right, AMC's waking up. We're pushing that 40 mark. I just need to keep ranting because that's the secret. People just need to give me something to rant about. All right, let's get some banana moons on the chart. That's what you all pay the big bucks for. All the big bucks of watching this for free. I know you're all here for the banana moons. All here. There's always money in the banana stand. Matt, you spend so much time talking about Greg's because I think about it a lot. It's on my mind. I guess one of the most interesting things for me doing this is like the psychology of this group and the psychology of the crowd, because I think it's the group psychology that's got in us to this point. Like, I legitimately believe that. So I think it, from a business standpoint and really even from a content creation standpoint, it's useful for me to like think more and more about the psychology of this group and the certain sub pockets of this group. I just saw on Twitter that someone posted a glitch on Robinhood that shows AMC at 436. It's exactly that, 436. AMC did not trade at 436 today. And I don't think it's ever traded at 436 yet. Most people's definition of a shill, person with great duck fashion, hair always on point, and loves to surrender money to Tesla stonk. I view my Tesla trades as a, like, I don't know, an offering to the stock market gods. Matt, we need magnet lemons on the chart. It's duck band head day. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure I brought that down unless I'm losing my mind. It should be over in my duck headband basket. We had all the Gregs and Peoples down on the market. We took it. Let's go. Go where the moon, Matt. Shout out Curtis Patrick. Happy birthday, Mark. I'm a shill for Daddy Gensler. What do you think about Kohrs? Kohrs. It's been a while since people have asked about it. Super, super low volume. Wouldn't trade it. There's no interest in this stock. And that's probably somewhat of the reason why it's dying off. But it's a $16 stock that doesn't even trade 200,000 shares a day. That's pitiful. That's pitiful. All right, let's drop to the 3. All right, we got the moon. We all know that the chip target is at 50 USD. We don't need to close above it. We just need to breach it today, October 1st, and then that would trigger me eating the hot chip this weekend. Could you check out SCP Smart Chain Property? It's a new project that is a bridge between the gap between crypto and real estate. Thanks. Sebastian, I'd be happy to look into it. Let me write that down. SCP. Scott, thank you. VZ, support gap above 50 C. VZ, what's Verizon up to? Yes, technically 58. I'd be watching this gap, and right now it's in a bull flag. Perfect channel downwards. Lower highs, lower lows in this channel. This is usually bullish. It's just all about when will it break upward. You have to just be patient on it. I don't see Verizon going anywhere. It's actually coming up to support. Maybe you'll get a nice reversion bounce. So patience, wait for this clear trend to break. And then when it does, you could eye up 57.50, 58, something like that. But I would agree with your technical breakdown there. Shilling good vibes for the Ape Nation. Win-win. Shout out Prowess. Matt, you spend too much time. Peas. Rant fodder. Shout out Smith. I'll give you something to rant about. Everybody go short on tulips and hit the like button. Peter Van Dan Kloot, if you ever tell people to short tulips again, we're gonna exchange some words. What's going on? Peter Van Dan Kloot, there's no way you're not some form of royalty with a name like that. Isn't Friday the best day to buy AMC and GME? It is. Technically, it is on AMC. I didn't run the stats on GME, but I know it is on AMC. Ape Man Dan, go to YouTube or Google and search Nanner. All right, let me do this on break. Nanner. All right, shout out Ape Man Dan. Can I go long on respect for streamers? Where can I buy in? We'll have to make a whole new market for it. New duck question. What volume would you consider bad, good, and great to be trading on? It's all relative to itself. Sometimes there is a magnitude, but really it's relative to how the stock itself is traded. Are you seeing an increase in its own average volume, or are you seeing a decrease? I would never compare the volume of two different stocks. You can, if they roughly have the same price and maybe even the roughly like the same float, but like I don't like just comparing the magnitude of one stock's volume to another one. It's usually you want to compare it on its own relative basis. I know you're busy, but could you please show for my drowned cat? Only one owner, slightly wet. Burns, are you okay down there in Australia? You having an okay day? Please register Tulip Trading LLC. My tulips calls are killing it. That's what, to me, that's the dream. I'm just going to. Is there a tulip crypto coin? Because if so, it might be the worst project in the world, but I'm still going to buy it. Tulip crypto. Soul Farm. So I'm finding Soul Farm price. What is this? Soul Farm tulip. Soul Farm, it trades under the ticker Tulip. Where can I buy this? Does anyone know where I can buy Tulip? Soul Farm, it's trading at $20. It's having an okay chart. Like, I'd be willing to buy it. Soul Farm. I need to find out where I can get it, but I want to buy some Tulip. I need more Tulip. So if anyone knows about Tulip, I'm seeing it, like I searched it, SOLFARM. Its market cap is 16 million, so kind of low. I don't know anything about it, but only 8% of the circulating supply is out there. That seems good to me. Oh, you can get it on FTX, ZT, Gate.io. It seems tough to get. I don't have any of those. I'm going to need to make a tulip coin. How do you find it? Matt, how do you find Will Smith in the snow? You look for the Fresh Prince. Have a good day. Shout out Nick Hernandez. I love that. Fire joke. All right, we're getting ready. Someone just asked if this is a cup and handle. Pretty much. I would argue that on the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 2 minute, on the smaller time frame, you have the cup, you have the handle, and on this bend back around, watch 39.60. To me, that would be confirmation of the short time frame handle, the small time frame handle, and then look for the test and hopefully the breakout of 40. All right. What is the Russell 2000 doing? Stop. Stop doing this, Russell 2000. Where are we going? Where are we going? So when people have a video of like some brokerage showing a weird price, please understand that that actually means absolutely nothing. Brokerages don't set prices. To me, it's just, and I guess to me, I understand it of like why it looks that weird. But then like with my background in tech, it's a display issue. It's a UI, a UX. It's not the legitimate data. Like brokerages, what a brokerage does, like Robinhood or Webull, they're just doing their best. They're buying data. They're sourcing data and they're trying to present it to you. So what matters is the actual legitimate data, not if they mess up in the presentation of some weird spike in price that's usually corrected pretty instantaneously. But I need to make it like, I guess, clear because I'm seeing it on Twitter right now that people are talking about like AMC trading at a different price. That's just a mess up. Like it's not, if you can't see it trading at that price in the time and sales, that means it didn't trade at that price. That tells me it's just like a brokerage application mess up. It's not hard to just back check it. Like just look at the time and sales and see if any sales actually went through at those price. If it didn't, it's just it's a mess up. It's a display mess up. That's all it is. And that's what's interesting about yesterday on AMC. Let me go to yesterday. Right here, this one, my first instinct was, oh, this is a display mess up. But no, in Discord, we checked the time and sales and it legitimately, these were all very legitimate trades. So that's the difference. And like, I never know if it is going to be real or fake, but you can back check it. And right here, like all around 11:45 yesterday morning, when we got this spike, which happened very, very rapidly, right here. It was like a 1 minute spike. I was like, oh, that seems super odd. Around exactly 11:45, these were all very, very real trades. And that's the difference is you could just back check and be like, oh, okay, no, those trades actually came through, opposed to just being like some sort of data mess up. Are you dressing up for Halloween, Mark? Of course. I think I want to, I don't know. I feel like I want to be that neighbor and maybe one day that father who takes like giving out candy like way too seriously. Like when people come, I'll be like, you hit the lotto. And I'm just like screaming at these kids as I'm like pouring way too much candy on them. Like every little kid that comes up, like I'll just pull the rope and like a bathtub of candy falls on them. That's kind of my aspirations in life of where I want to go, with like the whole trick-or-treating scene. But in terms of the stream, yeah, of course I'm going to. And in terms of that day, the kids near me in Philly, they're going to have way too much candy. I'm just going to be pelting them with candy. How do you do your back testing? Also, thanks to Wall Street Viking up 1,500% on lottos and 280% on January calls for Prague. What's your Venmo? I'll send you a beer. You guys should connect on Twitter. How do I do my back testing? I do my back testing on TradeStation just because I'm very familiar with how they built out their program. And even though I hate their coding language, I've gotten used to it. And the data, I have an easy way now to source all the data. But I believe there's now we're actually seeing more and more of a rise in back testing programs. So honestly, if I bet you could find, I just use TradeStation because I'm used to it. I've been on it now for years, in all my back testing. But honestly, if you just Google stock market back testing or stock trading back test or something like that, there might be new super easy applications that anyone could use. Do you see a gap fill coming on VLTA? I bought in at 810 VLTA. Let's see what's going on there. A gap fill. What happened here? A financial conglomerate. It sounds like it's a SPAC play. I would want to know how close they are to the deal. But I see exactly what you're saying of okay, you're trying to get in at 1076. Yeah, I mean, I would want to know who they're acquiring and is the deal looking good or did it gap down because they lost the deal? I'd kind of want to know what's going on. But even if they have no deal right now, just so you know, most SPACs are priced perfectly at 10. So even that, you're at 930. It seems like a pretty easy run at least to $10 and then 1076 for a nice gap fill. I would kind of agree with you on that one. Good. Forearms are a little scratched up. Lounge room smells a bit like burnt cat. My attempts at drying him off in the fireplace did not go well. Matt, bless you, giant ape heart, for your patience in the community. There's a special place in Valhalla for you. What do you think about DNN? I had a good entry at 135. Target price is 250. DNN. I believe this is a mining. DNN. Other minerals. So you're in at 135. Your price target is 250. Not exactly sure how you came up with 250. It seems like more obvious resistance is at 2. Seems like 250 is a little bit arbitrary. Or unless you're watching like this spike from all the way back in 09. I would care more about 175. We've seen many rejections over various years at 175. So that's what I would be watching. And then from there, I'd watch 2 flat. And then after that, maybe 250 is not that, like, I think we're either going to undershoot it or overshoot 250. It seems like a little bit arbitrary to me. In the short term, I would look for the gap fill up to 150, and I would be using the support at 130, and then from there, that key 175, 180 level, and from there, 200. I don't know much about their fundamentals, but from a technical perspective, I mean, if it can hold this gap fill at 153, I think that could be a very legitimate, awesome trade. Ted Lasso for Halloween. You have the hair and the visor. I love Ted Lasso. Maybe. I kind of want to go something a little bit more extreme. You're a shill for ducks. Shout out, Nick. Gift out crypto or shares for trick-or-treaters. I just give them all like USBs of like ledgers. I'm like, here, you get some Doge, you get some Ethereum, you get some Bitcoin. I just give all these kids crypto. That'd be funny. Give each kid a piñata and a flogging stick. What are your thoughts on FNGD? I have not heard of FNGD. Micro sectors FANG 3x inverse. So this seems like it's basically a bet against the Qs at a leveraged rate. So the fact that this is up today tells me that the Qs are down. So it's more of like, I wouldn't specifically be focusing on this. I would look at the thing that it's inherently tracking, and it's inversely tracking the FANG, which is a subset of the Qs, at a leverage rate. So if you think the tech sector specifically, Facebook, Apple, Nvidia, Google, I think there's another letter in there in the FANG. One more. But anyway, if you think that group is going to continue to drop, well, then you could buy this and it could go up. But like, you'd be want to tracking that sector because this is what it's completely based on. Right now, it's looking weak. Like in the short term, I'm watching 352 on the Qs. And the R side being oversold, I hope it can bounce right off of that. SPY having kind of a noteworthy breakdown. If it closes below this, that very much puts 424.80 into play. IWM, hopefully we're at this support soon of 217.85. We're coming up to support on the Russell 2000. Where are my buyers? Where are my buyers? Just bought a put on Hood for 40 December. I think I'm going to win this one. F those a-holes. Charlie, shout out. Matt, my wife's boyfriend mom said she will take me to the library today if we can get some magnets on AMC. All right. Well, I'm a big fan of people going to the library. So I'll get a magnet up here for you. Right there. Pulling it up. Nice 45-degree angle. NVAX. Isn't NVAX down this morning because of the Merck approval? Just stiffer competition. Yeah, NVAX getting hit. I mean, at this point, I would want to really do research into how much market share they might be losing. But in terms of technicals, I'd be watching 141, 117. If I could get a bounce there, maybe over probably a decent amount of time, you'll end up getting the gap fill up to 200. I don't think NVAX is going anywhere. I mean, it's a $12 billion pharmaceutical biotech play. But in the short term, it looks like there's a bit more downside. And I think Moderna, I think the same thing here. This one, I mean, all of these, how's Pfizer reacting to it? All these are down just because, what's Merck? Merck should be up. They got some oral approval for the shot. Yeah, it's just Merck it's stiff competition now. So Merck is up. They got some sort of Rona approval, like an oral pill, and then all the ones who are doing the vaccines are reacting negatively because it's just more competition. My favorite cartoon is DuckShills with Screwy, Yui, and Kenny. Please dress up like a tulip for Halloween. AMC looking tulipy. Just dropped a new Ape-tober shirt in the merch store. My insurance. No. All right, I'll have to check that off. Check that out. Shout out Austin. Hex is moving. Is Hex still moving? Hex is. It hit 46. I'm looking for Hex to officially break out of 48 and 50 cents. After 50 cents, at that point, I'm just kind of watching the psychological level of 75, but I'm really watching Hex at $1. $1. SPY still going down. All right, where are... Hang on. All right, this isn't working. Hello? All right, very much would like the market to just turn. We've just been selling all morning thus far. What? It's been about an hour into the day, so we still have quite a bit more time. Like, this thing could definitely turn around. Remember, the morning trend does not have to stick all day, but I do like how AMC and GME, they're trying to stop. I mean, you see the SPY and IWM both making a new intraday low, but on the flip side, AMC and GME are both trying to make a new, a higher low relative to what we saw at 9:45 this morning. So patience. And we, in terms of IWM at least, it is currently at some support that we've previously seen. Remember, this is a range. It's never exactly to the cent, but we are currently at it right now. Let's see what we could do. Where's the turn going to be? We are seeing some obvious pressure. SEC investigating Robinhood president AMC, the sale. Yeah, so that was reported, I believe, later last night, and it's been kind of a hot topic this morning. But yes, the rumors have it that the SEC is looking into the president of Robinhood, not Vlad, but the president, that Jim guy who was selling AMC right before they PCO'd AMC and GME. White boy, what a funny name. Becoming an astronaut. Shout out. I appreciate you joining up. Shout out to everyone who became a member. Thought on CTE. No. I mean, this stock is only $58 and it doesn't even trade 100,000 shares. There's just no interest in the stock. The chart looks really weird. Would not touch it whatsoever. Can I take a look at Zim? Zim. Shot up, took a breather, coming up to support. I would want to see the reaction to 47, 42. I don't know. The $5 range between 42 and 47, I would want to see if it can like base there and start to pull back around. And if so, you might be able to ride this up to hopefully 62.50, maybe even more than that. But right now, the bears are in control, but the question is for how long. Look for support. At least that's what I would do between 42 and 47. All right. Volume arcing sold at my price target. Can volume slow when value increases as less shares, but same value exchange hands? Still learning. Yeah, so volume itself is not indicative of the price going up or down. It's more so correlated to the volatility of the movement. When you have a big upswing or a big sell-off, usually you're going to see more volatility. And if things are a bit more calm, a bit more sideways, usually you're going to see lower volatility, aka lower volume. It doesn't always have to go that way, but that is kind of the correlation that is prominent. It's not a perfect one-to-one correlation, but it's still pretty high. When you see these crazy multi-day run-ups and the volume going higher and higher and higher, and then you see the first red day and the volume come, that's a sign that a lot of day traders and swing traders, especially penny stock traders, use for the time to sell or even specifically short. Once again, the price over multiple days, up, big range bars, volume, and then the first red day with lower volume, volume exhaustion, first red candle weakness, they look to kind of attack it at that point just because it's run so much and they're looking for it to return to normality. Hey, Matt, rookie investor here, so please educate me on any flaws in this theory. Could the large institutions who are long in AMC and are lending out most of the shares just announce a share recall so that the shorts have to cover and therefore attempt to facilitate the start of a squeeze? If many of these big firms wanted to, yes, they could be like, no, don't loan mine out. And I guess like that would be their relationship with their broker, if the broker even does or doesn't allow it. But they could be like, nope, we're not lending anymore. And then that would force buy-ins on the people who are short. But they might not want to do it because the interest payments that they're getting for lending out millions of AMC shares right now is very, very hefty. I mean, very hefty every single day. Coffee break team. If Robinhood goes bankrupt or fails, what could happen with the money we have invested? What would be the best plan of action? That would be something that the lawyers need to like build out, and you'd have to dive into the terms of service. I do think you would be protected up to a certain amount. But with it, I just don't even see why that risk is worthwhile to take. It's so easy to get off of Robinhood. So for me, when you're trading, it's all about mitigating risk. So why would I take on the risk of a company that might go under? Like it just doesn't seem worth it. They meeting Apple and Samsung in court in December. Check it up. Interesting case about the pound, about 4 billion products sold. Martin. All right, let me write that down. Have Neonode. I'll have to look into that. This is news to me. Neonode. No Time to Die is James Bond speaking to AMC Apes. What's your favorite Bond quote? Love and appreciate all you do. Shout out. So I saw a little bbit about like the Daniel Craig and the new Bond and everything, and I'm always a big fan of those. In terms of my quotes, I don't know. Like I almost don't want to say something dumb because I know it's like so quotable, but I always just think of like his martinis. I don't know why, but like whenever I think of Bond, like those are the first quotes that pop into my head. But I don't know. Give me a little bit of time, and I'm sure I could come up with something more thoughtful or more humorous. But I always think of the martini. What's funny is, so I think the one I've seen the most, just because it's seemingly on TV the most, is Casino Royale. So I feel like I've just watched that. But in my youth, Goldfinger is like the one that I have a lot of nostalgia for, because whenever I was homesick as like a young little youth, it seems like that was just always on TV, which was like, what, 2 or 3 James Bonds ago? But Goldfinger, back in like, what, the late 90s, early 2000s, I must have watched that thing so many times just because it was always on TV whenever I was homesick from school. Saw Venom LTBC yesterday. Awesome end credit scene. Captain Mexico. I'm so excited to watch that this weekend. What else do we have going? Oh, Rogue the Legacy's reaching out. What's up? What's up, Rogue? All right, AMC currently 39.20, bending back around, looking for it to get above 39.60, and then I'd feel pretty confident about a Tesla 40. I did. Oh, it's about that AMC clip. All right, AMC 39.20, like I said, 39.60, so about 40 cents to go. GME bouncing off of 173. We're at 175. Previously, it has reacted to 175, but I care a lot more about that 188 to 190 region. I think if AMC gets going above 40 here, that could get some enthusiasm pouring over to GME. Right now, if I had to throw a theory on why maybe AMC and GME aren't being so jumpy today, it's because a lot of people are selling off like just the overall market. I mean, IWM is down 0.3%, the Qs are down 0.95%, and the SPY is down 0.3%. All right. IWM is at that support that we saw right here. So I'm hopefully looking for this to be the bounce. So for people who are playing the Russell 2000, this is one of those setups where your risk reward is optimal. You buy here, and if you're wrong, if it drops another 50 cents, you just cut it and like you take a small hit. But if you're right, you can ride it up another $2, $5, $10, whatever it is. You like to see it come down to a support, and you have no idea if the support's going to actually catch it. You don't. And this is one of the things why I really hate pattern day trading, because if you're below 25K, you only have so many shots, so you have to take better shots. But right here, this is a shot on IWM. If you're wrong, if it makes a new low, okay, you just cut it. Be like, okay, I took a small hit. Like you got a little bit of a hit, but it's survivable. The risk reward is just so incredibly optimal. And that's how I think about it. Whenever I see risk and reward, I have no idea. No one ever knows if you're going to see a breakout, a breakdown, a reversion. It's all about, can you handle the current risk to reward setup? It's at support. I have no idea what it's going to do. I truly don't. I just don't. But I know I could cut it very, very quickly and only lose a couple cents. But on the flip side, if I'm right and if it does bounce, well, that's multiple dollars. The risk reward is super favorable. But whenever I see risk and reward, like you never know how it's going to react to support or resistance. You never know if there's going to be supply, demand. You just don't know. Like you're sitting there and you're seeing if enough other market participants agree with you. Where do you guys buy crypto? If you're in the US, I buy it on Voyager. I believe it's above my head. It's an app you can download. You put in the code MAT21 and you'll get an extra $25 of Bitcoin as soon as you trade $100 of any crypto. I can't believe that Tulip one isn't here. I need the Tulip. Hey, they have Shiba Inu now on Voyager. I think they've actually had it for a while. What other ones are people really in? I bought some Matic. That's the two I'm down the most on right now, percentage-wise. I'm down the most on Litecoin, but magnitude-wise, I'm down the most on Matic. But that's just because I loaded up on Matic, because I do believe in it. I think it's just going to take some time. There's some of these ones that I've never heard of. Like, what is Avalanche? Like, what is it? I don't get it. There's just so many cryptos out there. I think there's about 5,000 like somewhat popular cryptos. Look at that. The bounce thus far playing out on the Russell 2000. Let's see if this enthusiasm can get. I just want to see AMC. Let's push 39.60. Let's get going. Give the people what they want. One minute, double bottom, bull flag, double bottom, all bullish. Jack to the teats, to the ceiling, which is also on fire. John, sounds like you're having an interesting day. It's certainly galore in the house. He came too, although he seems to have no respect for this being a Denny's. Good morning, just stopping in by to support. Thanks for the updates. Shout out, Dr. Thompson. Thoughts on CEI as a long hold play? As a long hold, I'd have to look more into specifically what the company's doing and also get a general idea of where the oil sector is going. But in support of that, I've been hearing very, very good things about the CEO of CEI, just so everyone knows. When I looked into him, I was kind of impressed. Like, people sent it my way. They're like, you got to look into him, And the a little bit that I saw was pretty impressive. OTRK looks not good. medical, nursing, gap down, selling off, looks like it wants to make a new all-time low. It's at support. If it breaks below 9, this thing could continue to fall. But maybe you get some buyers and you swing back around, but I wouldn't be buying it here. That's trying to catch a falling knife. It was selling off, gap down. I'm assuming some sort of announcement. And then since then, obviously, it has not been looking that good. With a lot of stocks that, whenever you talk about biotech, pharma, medical supplies, any of those things, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why they're not necessarily my favorite, because if they lose a piece of equipment, a drug, they fail a test, the FDA says, no, it's a gap down, and they might not recover. And I don't have the knowledge to know, okay, like what supplies are the good supply, what drugs are the good drugs, what tests are most likely to be passed. That's just not where my knowledge base really sits. And you should always trade what you know. No matter what you do in your life, you have some sort of inside knowledge. If you're a teacher, or even if you're a kid and you're playing video games and you like this social media, think about what you do in your normal life and where your knowledge set is at, where your skill set's at, and then trade that sector, because you have a better understanding of that sector. So for me, my background, and I'm professionally trained in the world of technology, so that's why I pay more attention to things like Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, because I would use those products. I understand the tech behind those products, but that's just me. And think about it in your own life. It doesn't matter if you're a student, if you're a teacher, if you're a truck driver, if you work at it doesn't matter. You have some sort of knowledge set that could be applied to the stock market. Find that sector. What are you it's hard to give this a general statement because it's so high level, but no matter what you do in your life, you're going to have a certain set of knowledge that the average person doesn't, and you should be trading on that knowledge set. All right, OTRK, we talked about that, not looking good. How's ATER doing right now? ATER pushing 11. It is up 1.15% on the day, fighting back. ATER, watch 12 and then maybe even 14. ATER, nice triple bottom off of the low 9s. Russell 2000 back to looking weak. What else do we have? All right, cool. We are there. We are there. Very, very quickly, if you haven't already, I would very much appreciate it if you guys could annihilate that like button. It does help me out the YouTube algorithm, which has not been fine to AMC and GME and Ape creators lately. So if you guys could, if you haven't, it's completely free. It just helps me out the algorithm. And if you want to be a part of the Moon Gang, all you have to do is subscribe. If you're on Twitch, all you have to do is follow. If you're on Rumble, subscribe, hit that Rumble button. All that stuff, liking and subscribing, it's truly the only thing I ask for, and it is completely free. It just helps me out with the algorithm on the associated social media platform. Anything beyond that, it's absolutely all up to you, optional. Never, ever, ever going to ask for money on any of this stuff. It's just more of the social media. Sometimes you have to play the algorithm game. Someone's been asking about APRN. What's Blue Apron up to? Ripping. Finally getting some of these gains back. It's a little bit chasey now. The entry, if you were lucky, was at 420. Most people probably would have missed that. So the next entry was at 520. And since then, it's definitely chasey. But if you've been riding this trend, I would closely watch 850. And then 950, and then probably all the way up at 1150. Our size severely overextended. I would not be buying right now whatsoever. But if you're in it, ride the trend. The trend is your friend. Let your winners ride. Cut your losers quickly. All right, AMC, it's looking good. It's midway in its range. It's trading at 39 right now. Its volume is 27 million, which is actually decent volume, at least over the past 10 days on AMC. But it all comes down to we have to watch that $40 breakout. We want to make a new intraday high. I'm really watching 41.50 and specifically looking for the gap fill up to 44.20. So we have a bit to go, but we need enthusiasm. We need volume. We need volatility. And right now we're stuck in the middle of our range. Hey Matt, trying to get better analysis. DKNG starting a reversal for the day chart. Good risk reward ratios. Still need to see the buyers. DKNG. We've been talking about this one a little bit. Oh, I guess it started early. Look at this. It bounced right off of it. I think it's at a good buy. I mean, sub 50 is good. The closer to 45, better. So it's a little bit, but I mean, this might be it. I mean, it technically did come into the region, and maybe it's just a hair in, the R size overextended. Actually, how much free money do I have? To me, DKNG is a great long-term hold. I have no interest in actively trading this stock. I just want to buy it on weakness and see how it goes. Where's my portfolio? Where's my app? I wanted to get this at 45 just so I could forget about it and come back however much long later. How do I do this? Can I get any? How much money do I have? Where's my money? DKNG. DKNG. DraftKings. All right. Yeah, I just bought some on this. Like I said, not my full amount that I wanted to buy because I would still prefer to get it closer to 45. But DraftKings, it's a longer term thing. I'm not going to actively trade it. I'm just very bullish on the gambling betting world, but also the online sports betting world specifically. So I am a fan of both DraftKings and Penn National. And then if FanDuel goes public, I'll be bullish on them as well. So I think it's important to think about all of these differently. Like, for example, AMC and GME are an Ape Nation play. We pay attention to the overall markets. I have no issue actively trading these. And then I think of a certain set of stocks like DraftKings or like Apple, like Microsoft, like Nvidia, like AMD, that when I see weakness, I buy it and I forget about it. So it's kind of operating on different portfolios and different mindsets. And right now, in terms of the longer term portfolio, I like this as an opportunity. I mean, it looks like it's trading at a $15 discount. The RSI is low. I think it's a nice dip buy, and I'm looking for it to give it enough time. Like what I just bought on DraftKings, I will now probably not touch for years and years and years. Like I'm just going to sit on it. FanDuel is public. I don't think it is. I don't think FanDuel is publicly traded. Actually, I'm pretty sure it isn't. I'll double check. FanDuel stock. I'm like very confident it is. On Tuesday, the company announced its IPO. Did it actually IPO? SRAD? Wait, what? You can buy it before it goes public. Hang on. Wait. It looks like the IPO was delayed. Yeah, I think the IPO just actually got delayed, or it was delayed a couple months ago. The U.S. IPO for FanDuel has been delayed by Flutter as the former operator CEO Matt King prepares to depart. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. As reported by The Telegraph, Peter Jackson, CEO of Flutter, has made the decision to delay the listing until 2022, I guess. So it will be publicly traded somewhat soon. At least what I'm seeing. I was going to say, how did I miss like that IPO? Like that's been something. I'm not going to buy it on the IPO, but it's definitely like a company I'm going to be highly interested in paying attention to. I thought Matt Kohrs was AMC, obviously not talking AMC. I am in AMC, but hey, I also have a big enough brain that I can like walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. I do have the capability to carry multiple stocks, and it might blow your mind, but I actually even have some options. I even have some futures. I even have some crypto. Multi-talented individual. I don't think it's actually good just from my career and my like. The market is all about risk management. And when you're all in on one thing, I just don't, that's not trading. And I'm not saying maybe people just want to YOLO it and you hope for the best, but I'm a diverse trader. I'm a diverse investor. That's how I make money. And I've been doing this now for a decade. Why would how could I sit here? How could any creator sit here and like preach you the benefits of risk reward and then just be like not diversified at all? It's like so absurdly contradictory. And that's just the difference. I mean, if you want to put your money all in on one thing, like I hope you're right, but you are increasing your risk by a considerable amount. I wish you the best of luck. It's just not how I've ever done it, and I'm not going to do it. Matt, I need a bigger TV. Can you make the dollar signs bigger on the screen? Great job. AMC Jimmy, buying more today. Please say hi to my sister-in-law, Helen, and to all apes watching. Much love. Shout out, Julian. I don't know if there's a way I could increase the font on TradingView. I'll have to like look into the settings. If you're looking for monitor upgrades, just use the Oculus Quest 2 and download Immersed app. Get to 5 virtual screens. Super dope. Shout out, Zachary. I appreciate that. Let me write Oculus Quest 2. Let me write this down. I'll have to look into that. Oculus Quest 2. Got a friend stuck on ride and won't get off. What do you think about it? On Lordstown Motors. So Lordstown Motors. Ooh, it was going up. They just sold, I guess, one of their plants to Foxconn. So that was the exciting news. But now, obviously, it's just giving it back. When I think of Workhorse and Ride and Lordstown Motors, like they are kind of related. The same guy started both of the companies. It really is looking at a long-term bet on the U.S. EV sector space. So for that, I think the two front runners in terms of manufacturers would be Tesla and Lucid. But there are these other upstream and downstream ones that like could also be strong companies. So it's a tough play. Like I'm in Workhorse. I think I'm even in Lordstown Motors. I have a little bit of Workhorse, Lordstown Motors, and Hyliion in my long-term account that I just don't really check on. And most of my money is probably more so in Tesla in terms of EV manufacturers. Prague flow. Someone's asking for the flow of Prague. 65% bullish. Can I buy a 2-cent put on that last rude comment about your AMC love? You want to buy a 2-cent put on a rude comment? I don't know where the market is, but we could probably build out that market. It's just, I see all this bashing of like people who think that they're purists as if like you're only playing like one stock. It's like, I'm fully in on AMC and GME. I've dedicated pretty much the last year of my life to teaching people about it, to teaching people about the market for absolutely free. And then when people come in and they're like, you can only talk about those. It's like, I mean, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I have a duty to the remainder of the community to teach more things. And AMC and GME, I'm happy to talk about them. I'm happy to keep everyone up to date. I still have a considerable portion of my own money in both of those stocks. But while they're not really doing much, like on days when they're flat like this, hey, there's other money-making opportunity. And to my understanding, that's why people are involved in the market, is to make money. The market isn't about making money on one individual stock. It's about making money. AMC and GME, honestly, I think the main point of those is to send a message. So I'm involved in it. I'm attempting to send the message to the best of my ability. But other than that, if I see movers, if I see opportunity like DraftKings right here, I'm going to take advantage of it. To me, this is a money-making move. I don't know. Sue me. I like making money. Nice work. Keep it up. Get that rant going. Shout out Powers. Shout out Wes. Can you get some TA on UPST? UPST, this stock just doesn't stop. Is it finally going to take a breather? Like UPST just cracks me up because every single earnings announcement, it just rips. It rips. I guess it's finally taking a breather. You could watch this support at 259. I mean, talk about a stock that just doesn't know how to cool off. If you're in it, congratulations. If I were personally in it, I would probably, I mean, depending on when you did or didn't get into it, you might want to lock in some of these gains, some of these tendies, and maybe re-enter at 260, maybe 211, maybe 200, 188, something like this. With the run that this thing has been on, 26% in the month, 605% in a year. And this is in no way considered a meme stock or Reddit stock or anything like that. This stock has just been ripping. Like I said, I would be watching 260 right now. It's at 295. I think there's a little bit of a decline coming. I mean, you have a lot of bearish divergence in the RSI. So I'd look at a breather, but once again, I want it to dip. And as soon as I see buyers stepping, I myself will probably pick up some UPST. But I mean, this stock is just ripping higher. Matt, I've always scared to sell at resistance, done it before and lost money. To sell at resistance, can you restore my confidence? It typically tests 3, so I risk 2 at test. I've never seen any stats that say like it commonly tests 3 times. I've always been scared to sell at resistance, done it before and lost money. No, selling at resistance is what you would want to do. You would buy at support, ride it up to resistance, and get out at that point. I'm a little confused, Scott, on like how you would lose money selling at resistance. Because ideally, like support would be below resistance, so you should be getting in at support and either getting all out or partially out at resistance, at least in the way I'm thinking about it. I feel like I have a little bit of confusion on this super chat. Can you restore my confidence? Like resistance means you rode it up to that point and you like, I don't know how you would be losing money there. SDC on Ortex is 100%. So SDC, Smile Direct Club, it does have the interesting numbers, but remember, it is not on the threshold list and there's not price action to it. It gap filled to 605, could not hold that support, and it broke down until the previous support of 520. We've talked about this. I thought this play was over at SDC when it gap filled on the 14th. It rode it a little bit more, and then there was another play to play the gap fill down to the downside at 6. And right now, it's really not a play. I mean, maybe I would go back to being bullish on it. The double bounce off of 520. See if you get a push back up to 6. That's a possibility. But it's not on the threshold list. And I'm not seeing like the volume and the volatility and the excitement as of now that could lead to a squeeze. Obviously, that could change as early as today or Monday. But just right now, the bears have been in control ever since September 20th. I buy at resistance and sell at support. Could you please take a look at DRIV? DRIV, happy to. DRIV, unfortunately, looking weak, which is kind of a bummer because this is tracking a lot of the EV autonomous world. So it's at support at 27. I very much want this to like catch quickly. I first started tracking EV, as you can see, all the way back here in July of 2020. I even think I made some videos on it about a year ago. But I want this bounce soon. Man. Maybe you could watch 26, maybe 25. I guess it doesn't have much of a range. Like the chart doesn't look that good, but when you see the magnitude of these moves, it's kind of minimal. So I would watch, it's at 27.10. I would watch 26.50. I would watch 25. But like I said, just not much overall movement. I think the chart looks more drastic. And then when you have the price axis, it's not that extreme. All right. Time to wake up. Time to wake up, market. All right. IWM hopefully bouncing. So same thing. Not that bad of a risk. Double bounce off of 217.75. Would love to see this push back up to 220. As IWM has a little bit of a relief bounce, look for AMC to also have a bit of a relief bounce. You should solely talk about AMC and nothing else. Don't tell anyone you're doing it. Do it as if it's normal. Only show AMC chart and only give AMC info, AMC in Ortex, and only AMC questions and see what happens. P.S. Don't do that. You should make that shirt. Sue me. I just like to make money. a story of this year, especially with Citadel and Robinhood. Why don't the poor just invest their money, buy his GME and AMC? The rich, wait, not like that. Poor, hodls, the rich. Please stop. Shout out Unusual Whales. Shout out GTH Woods. All right, hang on. I think I missed some. Where is the channel? Where is the channel? Could you check the options for an Ortex for SDC for everyone 100% utilization? Okay, yeah. So we went over SDC. It has the numbers, but it's not on the threshold list, and I'm just not seeing the price action in terms of a squeeze. But I do just like the double bottom off of 520, and if it can hold that, I'd be watching 6. $100 expiration date, the same for options. Do you buy close to the money or far away for gains? Also, out of the 10 people, 3 like you, 3 hate you, and 4 don't care. But I think you're dope. I appreciate that. So the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So when you're talking about options, the farther out of the money you go, that's higher risk, aka if you're right, higher reward. And then also the closer the expiration, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So the craziest, highest risk, highest way to play, highest risk, highest reward to play options, very close expiration, super far out of the money, and your odds of being right are low, but if you are right, you're going to hit big. So then as it's like kind of a gradient, the farther you got out of the money and the closer you are to at the money or in the money, the lower the risk, the lower the reward. That's a good question, Gerald. And coming back to what you said, I get it. I'm not going to be everyone's plastic bag full of gasoline, but to the 12,000 people in here that you're like, yeah, no, this kid is definitely my plastic bag full of gasoline. I appreciate all of you. What do you tell people you do for a living? Read letters and tell people not to chase. Also, KPLT is on the threshold and feels dead. Don't all have to go. Yeah, I mean, if it's on the threshold list, with all those things, we're stacking those things up because it appears to increase the probability of a move, but nothing is ever guaranteed. Like it doesn't have to do anything, but still KPLT, I am interested in a gap fill play up to 930. I don't quite know where it's at right now. It's at support. If it doesn't hold this support at 5, then I would be watching the gap fill actually down to 360 on KPLT. So I would like the bounce and the breakout of 580, and then I'd be watching 750 and then 930, this gap fill. But if it breaks below, then it's a gap fill play down to 960, or excuse me, 360. And what do I tell people I do for a living? I usually mess up and I'm like, oh, I'm a software engineer. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I used to be a software engineer. And they look at me, they're like, wait, you don't know what you do? And then I'm like, oh, I'm kind of like in YouTube. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, huh? And then I'm like, okay, gotta go. That's usually how it happens. Finally transferred my AMC shares to public out of Robinhood. Please don't blast off without me. I think you're going to be good. If any of you initiate a transfer now, I mean, it seems like most transfer windows are from like 1 to 2 days to maybe up to like, I don't know, a week or something like that. But it's not like incredibly slow. If you start your transfer today, I can't guarantee this whatsoever, but I personally believe that you're going to be A-okay. Infi. Infi trying to bounce off of 320. If it doesn't, I'd watch 280. If it does bounce, I'd watch 380 to 390 for that breakout. Lower highs, same lows. It depends which way it's going to break this wedge. I would watch the trend lines. Your one horizontal line would be at 320, and then I would watch that dynamic trend line from the early September to mid or late September, this trend, and I would just watch that wedge. All right, IWM is pushing right now. SPY is pushing. Unfortunately, AMC is not finding its buyers yet, at least. We are in that weird midday chop. Quick 20% gain on IWM. Here's your beer, sir. Enjoy the weekend. I mean, I feel like I called it out in real time. I was like, oh, it's just at support. So very minimal risk with potentially high reward. I mean, I'm taking advantage of it. I scooped up some Russell 2000 future plays, some contracts, because I was like, hey, risk is very, very low. Reward is nice. And to me, that's what trading is. It's always continually taking optimal risk to reward bets time and time again with reasonable capital management. Wait, you mean to tell me I shouldn't have stuffed my cat into a plastic bag full of gasoline before drying him off in the fireplace? Man, this Airbnb owner is going to be pissed. Burns, it seems like you're having a wild day there down under. Oh, wait, so they are flying? The cat striker, she is flying this? Interesting. Soon to take off. We are ready. That's very interesting. Tweeted 6 minutes ago, she changed her banner, flying between 11 and 2. That's, I don't know. We'll see how Griffin responds to this one. Anyone worried about the transfer from Robinhood to public? Mine completely transferred in 5 days and fully executed this morning. So if it takes 5 days, I think you're truly going to be fine. Because right here, remember, when we're going up to the squeeze, which the squeeze itself, I do think will take multiple calendar days, but we have multiple days of buildup. I think you're going to be fine. I mean, this thing has been going on for 10 months now. Do you really think you're going to end up, do you think you're that unfortunate? And maybe some of you are like, yeah, no, my luck is that bad, that the exact 5-day window you end up picking, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, is the day that happens in almost an entire year saga. Let me put it this way. The earlier you do it, the better. Last week when you were thinking about it, if you did it then, you would have already been done. When you thought about it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, hey, today is the earliest opportunity you're going to have, the present right now. There's no reason to be on Robinhood. They're a scummy company, and also they're potentially facing serious litigation issues. I don't know why you would be on it, especially when they're engaging in lining the pockets of people like Ken Griffin. So much easier to be on something like Public. Banner flying equals Citadel scandal. Let's go. Hashtag Citadel scandal. This is too funny. Transfer to where though? Webull, TD. I would not transfer to Webull because it's the same thing. Payment for order flow. I think they're less crappy of a company, but they're still sending all the orders to market makers. The entire game is not necessarily anti-payment for order flow. It is because that's wrapped up into the fight. But the overarching theme is getting all of our trades done on a lit exchange. If you're doing payment for order flow, you're inherently not trading on a lit exchange. So that's the problem. So it's all about, if you're on Fidelity or TD or Interactive Brokers, they're routing your orders to the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, something along those lines. But what's even easier is just on Public. On Public, all the trades, whenever you hit buy or sell, it's getting fulfilled on a lit exchange. One of the questions I get is well, hang on, if they're doing that, how do they make their money? They make their money through tipping, optional tipping, or lending out your shares. But you could just contact their computer support system and say, hey, don't lend out my shares. And they say, okay, we'll turn off your share lending. But if you're an options trader, Public is not going to be for you. And also Public is not, it's a US thing, just so you know. But if you're an options trader, Public won't be what you want it to be. Hey, look, I'm just making money, so sue me. No further questions, Your Honor. Banner flying, Citadel scandal. Man, Griffin's going to be losing his mind. Losing his mind. TD is okay if you route your orders. Same thing with E-Trade, same thing with Fidelity. All of those are okay if you're going out of your way to route the orders, as in using the kind of their professional platform like E-Trade Pro or Fidelity's Active Trader Pro, whatever it is. I'm a fan of it if you can route your orders to a lit exchange. And I know some people, they're hang on, I don't even know the steps of how to personally or intentionally route my orders. That's why I think it's easier to use Public. But if you're on those, have at it. If you know how to do the routing, and it's not that hard to learn, a quick search. I think anyone listening right now will have the capability to learn how to route it. I just hate the Public interface, but I can deal with the fight. I mean, on Public, that's why I use this. That's why I'm using TradingView right now for my charting, because I'm not the fan of their charts either. So I use TradingView for my charting. And then I'll buy my stock because there's no options or anything on Public. So I buy my stock through Public, And I have a Fidelity account myself. I have an E-Trade. I have many accounts, like many. Citadel versus SEC, October 25th, 2021. JTH, I can't read what you have circled there. Matt, I'm off Robinhood, but I have 17 options expiring next year. What is the best way to move my options off of Robinhood? You might be able to transfer them, or if you want, like, you can just have them, I guess, there. It's just a different risk reward, but I think you can transfer options, or you can close them and use the exact same amount of money and just rebuy them. So you're essentially, there's no net difference to you in terms of your overall wealth. Matt, can you take a look at this ticker for me and give me some TA? It's been popping up on the screen, and it looks like it's a decent stock and looks like it hasn't been manipulated. It's called AMC. What's going on, Wolfcraft? 1025 Citadel Security LLC versus SEC court case. Let me just find this. This is, wait, 2021. What is this court case with the SEC? Let me just copy this and see if I can find some info. This seems like it could be fun. Monday, October 25th, 2021, 9:30 a.m., USCA Courtroom 31, Walker, Citadel Securities LLC versus the SEC. Where is this from? That's wild. The court case number is what I just searched. I guess I would want to find some info to like just verify all this, but it looks like the court case is 20-1424. Can you continue to let us know when the big insides you follow or support or look weak, also be there in the particular you like as a hedge? To clarify, I meant best hedge on weakness for puts. I mean, I would use puts as the mechanism to hedge, and then it's wherever I would see the weakness, like SPY, IWMQs, or if I want to do calls, I would then do calls on volatility. But all of that, puts against the market or calls on volatility, would all be like a hedge for your overall portfolio and investments. I like the idea of the long-term portfolio separate from my active account, researching public to invest my crypto gains into blue chip. Yeah, that's how I do it. It's just easier for me to manage everything. Like, I have a distinct long-term account. I have a public account where basic, like public as in not the brokerage, but public that I share with you, like my YouTube account where my AMC and GME is at. I have a couple different crypto accounts. I find I like when it's clearly on a different one, because I think it gets my brain thinking in the right way of what that account is for. Of course, you could choose to mix and match it if you want. It's just, for me, it's easier to be like, okay, when I log into this account, I'm thinking long term. Like I get into that mode. So that's why I like to bucket them on different brokerages. All right. Folks. Okay, 11:11, make a wish. But that is also the conclusion of my morning stream. I will be back today, 2 p.m. Eastern at the latest, just so everyone knows. If something wild happens, I will be on earlier. In the meantime, I'm going to be diving into whatever this court case is so I can share it with you, and jumping into any other updates that happen midday so we can talk about it in the afternoon session. But once again, I will be back. It doesn't matter what YouTube tells you. It doesn't matter what Twitch tells you. It doesn't matter what Rumble tells you. It doesn't matter what anyone tells you, because I will be back 2 p.m. Eastern at the latest to close out the week. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I truly do appreciate the support. I hope you are enjoying your midday session. Remember, have your trading plan, mind your risk, mind your reward, stick to your plan. I will catch you 2 p.m. I'll tweet it out, or just know I'm going to be somewhere no matter what YouTube tells you. Thank you so much for the support. And remember, for me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.